Hi, I'm Tom and I talk about code. Welcome back. Today we're doing more Vue.js. I've got the same thing open as yesterday. We're going to quickly review the designs that I drew up, and then we're going to look at the current state of the application. I did some off-camera work. Spoiler, it currently looks like this. Okay, I've discovered the joys of Vue packaging of static assets and trying to marry Wasm bindgen with Vue and JavaScript bundlers. So we'll get into that. I'm building a front end for my virtual machine. Currently, I have a website that looks something like this. It looks a little bit nicer than this, but this is my mock-up of it, where you write assembly on the left-hand side, and then you run it. There's a virtual screen. You can see the state of the registers while things are running. This is version 0. It's really gross. It uses a lot of document.getElementById. The code is on GitHub. I will link the repo in the description of the video. Infinite Coder 01, hello, welcome. Sorry, I'm kind of talking more to a YouTube audience there than my actual live Twitch audience, but these people, they're here for the cutting edge, okay? This is what we're building now. We're going to have a series of exercises, kind of like examples, things where you can interact and run them and get a mark. You know in The Simpsons when the teachers go on strike and Lisa Simpson's like desperate for someone to grade her. She's desperate for that adult approval. That's what this button is, okay? You press it and it tells you if you're right or if you're wrong. So it's a way for people to get to know the virtual machine. It's a way for them to get intimate with it. And it's kind of an experiment in writing a loose programming course for understanding a machine. Because I've been in a school today working with kids, I'm suddenly very interested in this space. So we've got some tabs for writing assembly or my C-like programming language, or for viewing the current state of the binary. This vaguely works from a UI data flow point of view, and it uses Vue.js, so there's no more document.getElementById. There's no more manually keeping things in sync. We're using Reactivity, which is great. So we have this file, and maybe if I just like do this and then maybe do this, we'll be able to reload the page. No? There's still a couple of problems here. I just want to show the current state. Ref is not defined. We can do with that. We just have to import ref from Vue. And I don't think I need... Actually, I do think I need... Oh, whoa. I'm not showing code. That's okay, because it was broken anyway. Here's the current state of what we have. It's like it just worked the first time, right? I didn't have to fix an error. So we write assembly in here. We write like add a 0. This is a no-op. We add like load word. We load a word into A from whatever's in register B. We do some stuff, and then we hit compile. And once we compile, we can see the compiled program. Currently, this actually doesn't do anything. It just copies the text from here into here, more or less. Let me zoom in a little so it's easier to see, right? But the idea is that we'll be able to actually do the compilation, and I currently have that rigged up in a different version of this. We'll make this look nicer as well. We've kind of got an example. We're going to put our assembly state in this column, our machine state, sorry, in this column somewhere. Cool. And you'll get a little exercise, like, hey, do this thing, and then when you hit submit, it will mark you as right or wrong. For now, that's gonna it's just gonna do verification in the front end. It's gonna be really easy to game, really easy to cheese. But the idea is it's about your personal growth, not comparing scores or anything like that. Eventually, I want to build a backend that makes it feel more competitive and that does better validation. I'm gonna build a backend. You're gonna submit to a server. One day. We're not there yet. For now, I just want to get these bits working. You can also write my C-like language to interact with this machine, and I think that will be an easier way to deal with it. But for now, this does nothing because we haven't actually built the compiler for Wasm yet. There's one tiny little hurdle, and we'll tackle that in another stream. Right now, I just want to make this work better, and I want to actually run some code on the virtual machine. So, I just commented out some stuff before I remembered to change the scene. So if we come back into this, right, I'm trying to build a virtual machine in my Vue setup script, and there's a problem here, and the problem is I'm trying to pull in a file from this pkg folder, and I think this isn't right. I think what I actually want to do is rewrite how I'm handling this path, I want to grab these imports from simplevm.js. Now there's also an init function here that I think probably has to go here or something. Maybe we'll try this. We'll try this. Now, there's something about these imports that is different. And I think I need to tell Vite to resolve it as a URL, or is it an @? There's like a special character that I use, right? Is it the /? I don't think it likes /. Okay, it deals with /. Now there's just going to be general errors like Wasm is undefined, because this needs to be async initialized. So we need some kind of function that's going to set it up, and it needs to be called async. So can I just do this? Can I do this? Can I say await? Let's see if this works. Wasm is undefined. Where does Wasm go? So I did some Googling, okay? And I think I've lost the tab now, unfortunately, but I Googled Cricket welcome. We're bashing our head against JavaScript bundlers. I knew this would happen. Wasm bindgen Vite bundler. Okay, we're gonna look at this GitHub issue. Okay, someone wrote this, and this looks like it. This didn't work. Importing with the URL. So this is what I just did, right? This is why in this import there's this question mark URL. I don't know what it does. I'm using JavaScript. I don't know what this does. I don't know what's going on. There's all these things that are interacting with each other, and I'm lost and confused. But this person said to put question mark URL here, so I did it, and it worked. And they're saying, interesting. They're saying to pass the URL of the Wasm file into the init method. So let's try this. We're gonna have the URL in both. I think this is simple vm bg.wasm. I think that's what that file's called. Simple vm bg.wasm. Okay, but this is just gonna be the Wasm URL. I'm going to try and do it like this and see if that does anything. And it's still going to say Wasm is undefined, right? Wasm is undefined. Here, Wasm's undefined. Where's Wasm supposed to come from? If I search for index, if I search for Wasm, where does Wasm come from? If I search for init, init sync, Wasm is undefined. Yeah, so this instance. So there's some init here, async function init. Wasm is undefined. This looks like the initialization. Thank you, Cricket. This is good. This is a good, helpful comment. Oh, rewards enabled on channel. Wow, I lost my messages. I lost my message history. Get out of here. Here it is. What's Apple doing? What's Apple? Why is Apple trying to talk to me? Make an annual sacrifice to JavaScript every now and then. This is good advice. This feels like what I need to do to resolve this, because I just have no idea what the hell's going on. Okay. So we've got this mysterious error because our initialization is not being called. So let's try something else. Let's say so, I don't know if this actually gets evaluated. So I guess we could also say console log foo and just see if that runs, right? Does stuff that's just floating out in free space run? Yeah, it does. So maybe we really actually don't wait long enough before we do this thing. Maybe we really need to wait a little bit longer. Maybe we need to actually make this a promise. So maybe before, maybe can we make this an async function? Can we we make this an async function and then await init Wasm URL before we actually return a VM? And then return a VM? Can we do that? And then we'll await that function and see what happens, right? So make VM. We'll just say, can we say await make VM? Probably not. We probably can't be async here, but let's try anyway and see what happens. Okay, that actually worked. I'm shocked. I'm shocked and appalled, but that actually worked. VM halt. VM halt. We need to define VM halt. VM halt is the handler number for halting the machine, which I think we've traditionally called F0. Feels like roughly the right number, right? This is a function that's gonna, and I might make this a function and just like put it here, right? We'll just move this up here. We'll move this up here. Doesn't take any arguments. It would be nice at some point if this VM action set came in as an argument, but that's okay. So now the first argument to this is just this VM halt. And the reason we can't mutate the machine, so this is, we have a virtual machine. We want to, as a result of calling a system operation, executing the system instruction, which is this special instruction here. It's like making a system call. It's like an interrupt. We can bind a JavaScript function to correspond to a certain handler number, which is really cool. But we can't actually mutate the virtual machine because of Rust's borrowing rules. So we have to make a set of actions. We tell the actions that we want to halt the machine, then we return those actions. It's just how it is. It's just how it is. This weird layer of indirection to get around borrowed checker soup. Mutation was illegal. You don't want a three-eyed fish. I'm thinking about The Simpsons. I've been watching season 2 of The Simpsons. Okay, so it looks like this works. So now let's make the machine do something. Now let's make it do something. Well, I mean, interestingly, we don't get... Well, actually... Let's do this. Let's do this. BCM PCSP BP0. So BCM. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to enumerate all my registers in my head. BPSP. And let's line these all up neatly. A, B, C, M, PC, BP. I think I want to rename these registers internally to X0, X1, X2. I think that would be nicer, but maybe not. If state loaded, where is this? Now, do we still have an error? This is the other thing. No, no error. Setup function returned a promise, but no suspend boundary was found at VM. Setup function returned a promise. So this feels like, perhaps, now that this is async, in suspense. Let's Google this thing. Let's Google the next mystery word in the adventure. Suspense. Async setup. And this is kind of how I approach learning a technology like this, right? You have to be able to read. I was working with kids in a school today, and it's really amazing. You know, when they see a compiler error, I'm like, well, look, can you read it to me? Like, what do you think this is about? And they read, you know, line, like, player, like, actor, no such field, like, whatever, because they've made a typo. And I'm like, well, what do you think that's about? And they're like, I have no idea. And it's incredible. It really, and I kind of explained to them the skill of reading compiler error messages. It's really amazing. It's really amazing. But I remember when they were scary and I didn't know how to read them. You know, it really makes me reflect on this different time in my journey before this all kind of was easy to bluff my way through. Suspense. Okay. So suspense, experimental. Okay, well, this is interesting. For one thing, this is experimental, so we're going to use it because I love experimenting. That's what I'm doing here, just overall. Built-in component for orchestrating async dependencies. Render a loading state while waiting. Ooh. Okay. So does that mean that I just... Async component has 2 slots. Whoa. I like this. I like this. So in other words, we're going to make a suspense. We're going to ignore this 2 slot stuff. We're going to go to the VM and we're going to put it in a suspense suspense block, and we're not going to bother with the second spot. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Now we have our registers here. So if we actually run code on the machine, we would hopefully expect to see these registers change. Except there's a problem with that, right? There's a problem with that. And that problem is this only runs once. This isn't reactive. We're not updating the state of the machine every time we tick the CPU. Okay, so that's a problem. That's a problem. So we need to be able to somehow communicate to this thing that it needs to tick. And we need to somehow make it tick. And I don't know the best way to do that. This kind of feels like we want to be able to pass an event in, and I don't know if we can do that. So let's go back to our Vue docs. Let's go back to our Vue docs. Quick start. Is it in quick start? Essentials, template syntax, components in depth. Okay, so slots, provide, inject. That's not what I want. Async components, full through attributes, component v model. This could actually be what we're looking for. Two-way binding. Okay, I don't think this is quite what we want. First off, let's make a function that gets the current state of the register from the machine, right? And we want to somehow trigger that to update. And this is something that Vue does support. So let's call it. Oh wait, we have it. It's called get register. We're using this. We're doing this already. My mistake. So we want to say like re-render this on changes. Can we try and find that? Vue.js trigger re-render evaluating functions. That would be good. Force a Vue component to re-render. Have components that rely on external events or changes. That is more, well, actually, I don't know if it's internal, right? It's actually kind of internal because we'll have some kind of like, I don't know, it's hard because I want this to own the virtual machine, but I don't know what the actual interface for making the machine tick is. Like maybe the run and the tick button live in here. Maybe we have div. We'll just have a div that's a button container. We'll call it ID equals VM controls container, I guess. That sounds good. That sounds nice. We'll just have two buttons. We'll have a button. That button will be called something good. What's a good juicy name for a button? Maybe let's just call it, tick. Let's call it tick for now. Let's just have a tick button. We're gonna, every clock cycle, we're gonna click this button, okay? So we're gonna need to listen to click. So on click, we want to, we'll call tick. We'll call the tick function. Easy. And then every tick will update this. So what I really want here, okay, is actually maybe for this to, can you nest tags inside a pre? You must be able to. So what if I make this a span and I bind the, what do I want? Is it value? Is it, or will this just work? I don't know, let's find out. I don't know how this gets evaluated. I really don't. So what happens when I call tick to step through a program? For one thing, I need the actual loaded program, right? I need the actual loaded program. So what does that look like? How do I share this state? What is this component too? Am I too zoomed in here? Do I need to draw a picture of what's going on here? Because it's pretty It's pretty rough. It's pretty rough, right? We've got our page, and our page, you know, we'll draw a nice little box. Nice little box. Okay. So we've got our two columns. You know, I drew nice. Let's stick to the nice straight lines thing. We've got code and stuff over here, and then we've got some buttons over here that do things, and then we have our VM view that lives in here, right? And this also owns, like, let's put it in this little corner here. Let's say this is conceptually where our actual VM lives, and then this is going to flow out, and we're going to see registers. Oh my gosh, my writing is bad today. And we're going to see the stack, and we might even want to inspect memory, right? We can see all this stuff in the virtual machine from here. And we also have the button that says tick in here. And tick is gonna do this, and then that's hopefully gonna flow out through these things. Like data's gonna follow the path all the way through, right? That would be really nice. That would be really nice. I'm not 100% sure I've done that right so far, but that would be really, really nice. Okay, so the only problem is, we need to, when we hit this button that's called compile, because I don't have enough room for that, we need to take this code here, right? So compile. So take this code here, grab this up, to convert. Right, we convert code to a slice of U8, essentially, right? A slice of bytes. And then that somehow needs to end up in our virtual machine, right? 3 load to VM. Okay? Needs to end up in our virtual machine. Now, can we I'll swap my scene. Call component method from outside the component. Can we do the equivalent of get element by ID in Vue? Can we just do get element? Well, no, we can't do get element by ID, but can we just grab the element and call a method? Because we could just write a method in here, right? That's function load program 2, and we have prog bytes, and we have an offset or an address, and it copies it in, right? Can we do that? Can we just call this method from outside the component because we have all the data in the app? MadFlash19 says, why Vue? All cool boys are using React. I like Vue. I like it. I like its philosophy. I like that you can use it without this weird bespoke .vue file syntax. I like that it's all code under the hood in a really simple, readable way. Sorry, I lost one of my shoes. I need shoes to keep my feet off the floor because the floor's too cold. Just proved himself as non-cool. Oh, rough. I was teaching a room of 9-year-olds today. Nothing makes you feel more uncool than dealing with youths 20 years younger than you. You're like, oh man, I'm not cool anymore. Something changed. The world's changed. You know. Am I out of touch? No, it's the children that are wrong. I'm really thinking about The Simpsons a lot today, apparently. So I just need to work this out, right? I just need to work this out. Ref component to be referenced from the parent for direct access. My component ref equals foo. Render the component template HTML with a ref. Ref equals foo. Huh. Okay. That's interesting. That is pretty much what I want. That's pretty much what I want. vm.refs.food.do something. Okay. .refs. So what's VM? VM is this. VM app components. Yes. Okay. So we'll try this. Wait, is this Vue 2? Ref directive. Vue 2. Okay. So we wanna find this bit in Vue 3. Ref. I want ref directives. Special attribute? Yeah, this is it. This is it. Ref is used to register a reference to an element or a child component. Wonderful. Options API, the reference will be relevant. Okay, this is Options API. No, in Composition API, the reference will be stored in a ref with a matching name. Ah, so we make a ref, an empty ref. So in up here, we're gonna say const, and we have to call it something. We're gonna call it VM. We'll call it VM equals ref, right? Empty ref, empty ref. Then down here, we say ref equals VM. Now we can reference this.vm and call methods on it. So when we say, where's our controller? When we do compile, we want to vm.load program, right? We want to load we want to load a new, well, this won't be a new uint8 array eventually, right? We'll actually do a compilation, but let's just for now 1, 2, 3, right? And then we'll pass this at offset 0, and we'll see what happens when we click the button. Let's just console.log prog bytes for now. That gives us something to go with. Okay, so compile. vm.loadProgram is not a function because it's indeed called loadProgram2. You know, I hate it when your code's wrong for the obvious reason. LoadProgram2 is also not a function. That's cool. That's cool. vm.value.loadProgram2. Interesting. We'll try this out. We'll try this out. Okay, so I mean we've got a breakpoint here, right? So can we see I don't know what these ancient watch expressions are. They've probably been there literally the entire time that I've been building this. Okay, so this error is just being passed down. I can no longer inspect this stack frame. That's cool with error handling. I don't think I can inspect the stack frame anymore. I think we are long, long gone from where that stack frame lived. So what does the example I'm crudely copying from say, right? Model. Wait, where am I? API, refs, no. Built-in special attributes, ref. Here we go, ref. Hello, plain DOM element. If used on a child component, the ref will be to the component's instance, which feels like how I'm trying to use it. Okay, and ref registration. As a result of the render function, it's right until the component is mounted before accessing them. This.refs is non-reactive. You should not attempt to use it in templates for data binding. Curious. Okay, that's interesting for a lot of reasons. So, components. Vue.js calling methods on child component. Okay, sorry, excuse my knocking on my desk. I know that alarms some people. I'm going to try really hard to not knock, but I do tend to fidget while I'm thinking, especially when I'm like hitting a brick wall. Okay, on click, call method in child. This is what I want. When I click the button in the parent. Refs, my child dot say hello. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's what we do. Do I have to like... where are we? Creating blah 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 components registration method. Component method can be chained. No, that's not it. Props events, calculated properties, class and style bindings, conditional renderings, template syntax, method, component exposed methods. Now, have I not exposed this method? Okay, do I need to Do I need to export it or something? That feels like the most likely thing. I just need to like export this function somehow. Single file. Oops. Function, increment. What if I say export function? Let's just try it. Let's just see what happens. Okay, cannot contain ES module exports. Cool. Oh wait, no, well that's not the right file anyway, but it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. Load program2. Load program2. What if I console.dir VM? Let's just see what this thing is, right? Let's see what this thing is. Let's hit compile. Let's look at our console. It's a ref. It has a value. That value is a proxy to a target, which has a handler, and that handler has functions. There's indirection to get here. We go through this mysterious prototype function. Okay, that's a dead end. That's a dead end. But you would think that this would work. Load program2. Load program2. Vue.js 3 template define component method, right? How do I define a method for a component? Cool method and setup. Vue 3 components, component basics, component template. We're just going to consume a bit of content about this. Template refs. It's weird. When I was looking at this, I really thought that the template syntax was going to be better and the Vue, like the single file components were going to be better. But so many docs, so many Stack Overflow answers I found have just not used that syntax. I thought I was going to have the opposite problem, but we're going down the rabbit hole. I didn't really talk to this much, but Madflash, if you're still around, what makes React for cool boys and Vue for lame boys? What's the difference? This isn't what I want. This isn't what I want. This isn't what I want at all. So defining a component, using a component, passing props isn't what I want. Emit function. Okay, no. This is still not what I want. Template refs. This is definitely not what I want. Definitely not what I want. Options API. So this is function that mutates state. So can I just not call a function? I thought I could. I thought I would be able to do this. Right, I thought this would be part of the VM because it's part of this. It's part of the scope of this thing. It's not good. Calling a method in child component 5 years ago. So this is refs my child dot say hello. Ref equals my child. This is literally what I'm doing, right? Ref equal ref. We're assigning the ref to a ref called VM, and then we're trying, is there anything else called VM? No. It's a thing. It seems to point to something, but load program2 is just not. Okay, actually, you know, there's another thing that's worth trying, and that is fully restarting my dev server, because sometimes literally that is the problem. Sometimes you just have to restart the dev server just to see. Okay, load program2 is not a function. Let's put a breakpoint here and see. Let's put a breakpoint here. I'm going to hit compile. We're going to break. VM. What if I say const f equals vm dot load program 2, right? What if I do this? What if I do this? And then I say f, and I might need to pass an explicit this if I call it this way. Let's just reload this page and see what this looks like now. Okay, compile. Okay, so what is f? What is f? Is f anything? Scope. Scopes. Where are my scopes? Show original variables checkbox. Yeah, there we go. F. Undefined. So load program 2, it's nothing. There's nothing there. There's nothing there. I want to make a component method accessible to the parent, I guess, something like that. Component method from outside the component. Yeah, this, yeah. Children. Ref direct. Yeah, so literally, is this the one I was reading? This might be the one I was reading before. Composition. Child component has to return the function. Return the function inside. Hold on, wait. Was I reading this just before? Hold on. Let's get rid of this old. No, wait. Options. Okay, no, wait, never mind. That's a different thing. That's a different thing. Bring me back that tab. Bring me back that tab. Child component has to return the function script setup doc is not affected. Composition API, sync code, declare props, emitted values, basic syntax, return. Values returned from a setup function, refs are automatically unwrapped. Return props, return value of define model, define slots, reactivity, modifiers and transformers, define, expose. The public instance of the component received via template refs will not expose any of the bindings declared inside script setup. This is it. Expose properties, use define expose. Okay, well let's try that. Let's say define expose load program 2. See if we can do that. Load program 2 is still not a function. So we still haven't exposed it. We still haven't really exposed it. And that's okay. That's okay. We'll work it out. We'll work this out. I feel like we're getting closer. Define expose, get an instance component. Retrieved instance will be of the shape. No, hold on, that's not right. That's not right either. Define options. Define slots, use adders. All right, sorry, just got to remove someone from my chat. What are we doing here? We're gonna ban and whoa, unable to ban user. What the hell? There's a user in my chat. I can't get rid of them. They're here forever. Okay, don't click on this link. Don't do it. Don't be tempted. I know it's a very convincing sales pitch, but for some reason I'm unable to deal with this, so we're just gonna have to accept there's a risky link in chat and know better to not click it. So can I can I export? Can I say export? I can't. option kind of be expressed. Named exports. Okay, hold on. Named exports. This is actually it. So it's not part of setup. This is just script. And then we say export, right? What port does this run on? 5173. Nice. Still not quite. Still not quite. But I feel like we're honing in. I feel like we're wading through the jank. Okay. I feel like any day now. Could this also be, well, it looks like the ref is resolving to something, right? It feels like the ref is linking into something. So why can't I call a function on this thing? What's going on? What's going on? Not a function. Not a function. Hold on. Wait. Let me just... Okay. So it loads and there's no errors, and that's a good thing. But when we hit compile, then shit starts kicking off. Let's get rid of these breakpoints and just run through it. And then we get... Okay, so what does it say? Let's read the errors. That's usually a good place to actually start, not just click around. Unhandled error during exception of component error handler. Control on compile. Okay, that's actually not interesting. That's perhaps the least interesting thing that it could say. Let me rename this real quick. Just because the name VM I've seen in a few other places and I'm doing some other silly stuff with it. So let's just pick a slightly different name. And this is really, really silly, but it's just, sometimes you just want to pick a slightly different name and just make sure you haven't accidentally had a name collision. It's worth just ruling that out. It's worth ruling that out. So, verm. It's the sound I want my code, my front end to be making. It's not. We're not chugging. We're not going anywhere good. Man, this is annoying. Because, like, I feel like I've done all the things, right? Feels like I've really done all the things. Again, okay, let's go simpler. Let's make it look exactly like this does. Let's just copy more exactly. And actually, I think I probably can do this. I think you're allowed to do this format. What does this look like? Still errors. Still errors. Not a function. So, hold on. Did I close my tab again? 5173. Okay. So if I hit compile, it does this thing, right? But the error comes from, I need to run through the rest of this. It gives me a good stack trace. It tells me here. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to do this thing again. I'm going to say const f equals this. Console log f. And then try and call it as a function. Don't even care. Don't even pass it any valid arguments, right? Just compile. It gives me this expected error, predictable error. Prints undefined because, of course, it can't find anything here. So what if, instead of this, I say load program 2, and I just say it's like a dumb string. Okay, can I do this? Does this work? Undefined. Nothing. So it doesn't... I'm obviously misunderstanding something pretty serious here. Module scope? Additional options. That's probably still not right, right? Do not use a separate script section. Props and emits. are not added as properties. Variables created inside script setup are not added as properties to the component instance, making them inaccessible from the options API. Mixing APIs is strongly discouraged anyway. Which is what it feels about right. If you find yourself in one of the scenarios not supported, switching to an explicit setup function. Okay. Oh, it can be used. Compiled as async setup. Generics. Wow. We can have a T in our script. This is revolutionary and ambitious syntax. Okay, no one has ever thought of this before. Wow. I never thought I'd see a generic inside of an HTML tag. Fucking hell. I am in over my depth. That actually broke me. I don't know. I don't know how long I keep hitting against this one wall before I just give up. But I'm going to keep going a little longer because I feel like I can solve this. I didn't expect this one stream to devolve into this one really silly issue that probably has a really simple solution. But here we are. Okay. This article is called Expose Child Component Methods to Parent Component with Vue 3 Define Expose. This is exactly the thing I want to do. This keeps getting smaller as I try to make it bigger. This is what I want to do. Okay, so Vue 3's composition API introduces a new method, exposing components like methods. Define expose. I tried playing with this before and I couldn't work out exactly what it was supposed to do. So this is good. Define which parts of your component should be publicly accessible. Define expose. You need to define it in your child component and use it. Yes, wonderful. We have another shady link. Let's see if I can get rid of this person. Unable to ban user. I don't know what I've done. What? Hold on. Let me... Why can't I ban a user from my chat? Are they gone? I literally cannot ban or timeout or delete this mess. What is going on? Okay, great. I love technical issues. I love them. They're my favorite thing. Don't click the shady links. Don't do it. You need to define a new child component. This is what I've done. I wonder if this is AI written. No, I'm not here to accuse CN2K, but it's in the back of your mind whenever you read these articles. When was it 2023. It's probably written by AI. Okay, so we have a template, we have a thing, we have an increment, whatever, and then it just says define, expose, increment, and count. Let's just try it. Let's just go back to this. Let's get rid of this script. Let's try doing what they did, right? Define, expose. And we're just gonna see this. They've done it as like a map, which is interesting. What if I say load program to, and I make it the string potato again? Now, does the compiler do some weird stuff where it's like, what the hell are you trying to do? I'm not doing that. That's possible. F's not a function. That's okay. It's still undefined. Yep. Okay. I'm going to stop this erroring every time. I'm just going to log it. Okay, so we compile. We see undefined. We don't want to see undefined. We want to see the string potato. We want a potato on screen. My God. Let's rewrite that function. Load. Okay, it still didn't work, but I fixed my typo, which is good. Load, and let me just make sure that's spelled correctly. Load program 2. Program 2. And we're just logging stuff to the console right now because that's just like a good way to make sure the wiring is correct. And it's, of course, nothing is happening still, but there you go. I can make this It's still undefined. Everything's undefined all the time. Everything is always undefined. Okay, so this is good. This is good. What have I done differently? Right? Child component.view. They've defined their functions as this syntax. And I doubt that's significant, but I could change my function to that syntax so that it looks the same. That's a good way to hone in on these errors when things are not working for stupid reasons. Counter under F2 methods, increment double, expose increment, and the count. Okay, so this uses the ref thing, ref0, on child click, child.value. It goes through .value. It does this. I feel like there are lots of iterations, or maybe there was another iteration of this that would have worked if I just put the .value back in. Let's see what happens. Okay, it's a function now. Nice. Nice. Load program 2, so we pass in the thing, we pass in the thing. Now when we compile this, it's not a function again, which is weird because it was a function a second ago. So I'm going to reload the page because that's usually a good way to make sure things behave. And it's not a function. Huh. Because like when I did this, right, it was a function. Oops. Whoa. Don't know what that was. When I did this, the second time I did it, it was a function. The first time it wasn't. So let's maybe say if vmm.value.load program2 otherwise we'll just make some really dumb console line. Okay, so the first time it fails. I wonder how much this was causing dramas. I wonder why that has to fail once first. That's really weird. It's really weird. Let's change this name back to VM because Vim is a silly name. It's a silly name for silly people. We're not silly here. We're very serious programmers. Okay, everything we do is very serious. Very, very serious. Very, 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 very serious. Okay, load program 2. We probably also actually, we probably want the method to be called compile program 2 because all of our VM methods are going to be in here, right? They're all gonna be in here. We're gonna re-export a couple of things here. Now, I don't know how we'd go with async function exports. I guess we have to do this. Guess we have to do something like this. All right. Then we'll just have a compile function, which is going to take a compile ASM, which is going to take a program, and this is going to do a lot of work. Except we don't want the arrow because you can just do inline functions. You don't need to give it a key, right? JavaScript, you haven't needed this for a while. I learned this recently. Makes my JavaScript a lot cleaner. Makes it look really good. Maybe in the last like 2 or 3 years, which is recently in terms of how long I've been writing JavaScript for. Okay, so compile a program. Now, this is part of our Wasm API, and actually, if we jump over to our Wasm, if we jump over to the place where we already did this, we can find where did we do this? It's ASM and upload, right? We basically want to do this. We basically want to copy this. So we're going to make a preprocessor. Yeah, cool. So we'll say exactly what we did before. New preprocessor, because we need to preprocess our assembly to deal with things like symbols. We're going to resolve our assembly yeah, so then we grab the lines, or the new assembly lines that have been resolved, that have had their symbols resolved, for example. Get, and it's going to be called get underscore lines, which is a silly name because that's Rust style, not JavaScript style. Then we'll also say const sim. Actually, we won't get the symbols. We're going to ignore symbols. Line offset. Lines offset. Okay, cool. So compile assembly. We get the new lines. We're gonna do this the dumb way. We're gonna do this the simple way, where we for let I of lines in lines, because we want to annotate this with line numbers, I think. Line equals lines I dot trim. That sounds good. Because we're going to use this I. This I is going to actually become part of the output. It's going to become part of the output. Now, one of the cool things here is we can probably... Oh wait, no, we don't do that here. No. Okay, so we can say let line of lines. Then we can alias the variable line. I think this is okay. We might have to get rid of this const. Let's see if we can alias, if this is a more specific scope, and we're allowed to do that. Line dot trim. Cool. And then this bit is a little bit tricky. If line length equals 0, or line, the first character of the line is comment character, we just skip on over it. Otherwise, actually no, we do want I, because we want to do error numbers if there is an error on a specific line. Okay, cool. Line length, blah 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 blah. We're really copy and pasting. I'm maybe making a few cleanups when we can. Do I know a Quake Live player that alias is under reanimated or Ice X3? No. Tell me about them. What player model do they use? What's their favorite gun? Do they know how to hit rockets? What's their ping to Sydney? Okay, you got to give me, if you want CSI Quake, you got to give me more information here. 0x Joker, welcome. Thank you very much for following. Welcome to whatever this stream's been. We're deep in the Vue, in the well of Vue, but we're feeling our way out of it. So we can assemble this line using the assembler that's part of our Wasm blob, and then we need an output, which I guess is gonna be a uint8 array. Maybe we're gonna make a new one. Does that sound good? What's out? Program. What's program? Oh, it's just a list. Interesting. Can I not resize a uint8 array? Is that a thing? Can I not push to a uint? I don't think I can push to a uint8 array, so I think I have to out.push. Now, the lower byte goes first, and then we push the upper byte, and we have to right shift it, but we need extra brackets around it because otherwise you right shift the mask and then it goes silly. Cool. And then if something goes wrong, we're going to catch the error, and we're going to console.error. Yeah, we'll console.error. Will we? No, we won't. We're in vm.js. This, I would really love this to be, I'm gonna pass a callback. I'm gonna do it. I don't care. This isn't good Java. I don't know. This is like Triangle of Doom stuff. But I'm gonna pass a callback. Callbacks are fun. Played you in Quake Champions, major dodge, good item control, overtime games, super toxic, alias in Quake is toxic, you want to out the dog. Good dodge, good item control. I mean, like, there's a lot of people this can be, right? There's a lot of people who are just like good at Quake and don't play anymore. I don't know this name. Ping is gonna be a good indicator, but also just let the guy alias. Who gives a shit? Just if just beat him. Just play better and beat him. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know. I'm deep in the coding brain. I don't have time to pull up my encyclopedia of Quake players from 10 years ago who could come back and be good. But as far as toxic players, I mean, there's always Nukeable. I always come back to Nukeable. I haven't seen him around for ages, and I think he mellowed out a bit. But that's my, he wild card. There's a couple of guys you could probably think of, maybe a few. Okay, compiler error on line IE. Cool. We're doing an error callback. It's important. Okay, so we've compiled all of our lines in our program. Now we want to make a new uint8 array. So const bytes equals new uint8 array out. So we turn that array into a uint8 array, and then we return bytes. That's it. That's all we got to do. So we're going to compile assembly here. Load program to, I think we're going to go into app, right? Yeah. So when we do a compile, we have our ASM input state. This is the stuff we've typed into the assembly. We've got to type into the assembly. We've typed a program. We've typed a program. So we want to say compile ASM. Okay, we're going to pass in ASM input state.value, whatever we've currently typed in, and then if there's an error, the message is going to go into a thing we haven't defined yet called error text, which is going to be a ref with nothing in it, and we'll say error text.value equals message. I guess that's what we do here. Let's call it prog. We do this. And then let's make a thing that shows this error text, right? So we're just going to put it like down here somewhere. We're going to say div, we're going to put a pre, and inside the pre, it's going to be error text. Wrap it up in a div, error text. Okay, so how does this look when we try and run it? I need to get back into it. I need to get back into Quake. I would love to play some more Quake. There's not enough hours in the day, man. It's hard. When I play Quake, I only want to play Quake. I just want to keep gaming. Okay. Whoa. Unhandled error. Setup function. Something's not a function. Okay, that's tricky. Default. Not a function. Not a function? What's not a function? In promise. In promise. Async ops. Do all of my brackets line up? Yeah, all my brackets look good. We return something nice here. And then we comma. So export default, I thought export default just took like an object, right? I thought that's what we were doing. Export default. Yeah, this is an object. Weird. Can I just say export? TypeScript. No. What about this? This isn't TypeScript. What's going on here? About to pass source. JSX. No, not JSX. Okay, so export's not a real thing. That's okay. It's good to know. Yeah, I did play a bit of Diabotica, right? I played a little bit of Diabotica Rogue. I played in that first tournament. Game's good. I hope Too Good does good stuff. Jabber with web devs, scoffing the idea of WebAssembly. I mean, it's fair, right? If you're a web dev, I don't know if WebAssembly has meaningfully changed your job, right? The fact that they decided to not do DOM in WebAssembly means that it probably hasn't had a meaningful impact on your job. It's cool for weird niche stuff where you want to run a virtual computer or like emulate Windows 95 inside the web browser, right? Like literally run an x86 emulator. to run Windows 95 in your web browser for some horrible reason, or for running like Quake in the web browser, stuff like that, cool WebGL applications. But if you're a web dev, I think, you can't ignore that it has cool applications, but I think for most web devs, WebAssembly doesn't actually change anything. And like, look at this pain to call into WebAssembly, right? It's actually really unpleasant. So maybe not unfounded. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these back out of here because holy shit, this is kind of stupid. Right? So I'm going to make these just functions again. Just going to make these functions again. This has to go away, and compile ASM just becomes a function called compile ASM. That's okay. Then we drop an indentation level, and then we export default, and now we just say make VM and compile ASM. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, in promise, blah, 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 is not a function. Like, what does this mean? Okay, let's do a hard reload. So we run, so just on startup, we get this. So what has this wrapped up? What has this wrapped up? Like, why is, okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna restart the whole dev server again. Hard restart. Oops. And we get this. Type error, not a function. But why? But why? Export default. Export default. You guys don't use the export default. I don't know how export default works. I might have to call it extra comma. It feels like that, right? I mean, like, look at this, right? Like this isn't even how I've written these functions anymore. There's this weird step that moves all this stuff around. Like, it feels like I haven't saved a file, but everything's been saved. It's weird. It's freaking weird. But yeah, no, this is a good call out, right? It feels like a syntax error. So okay, hold on. Here's the other thing I have. npm run lint. What does a linter say? Control should always be multi-word. What does that mean? Oh, I don't know what that means. I really don't know what that means. Preprocessor is not defined. All it says is these things aren't defined. So, that's fixed by preprocessor and assemble line, just pulling these in as imports, right? The linter has no problem with this at all. Simple VM.js. Okay, this is good. This is great. Compile ASM is not defined. That's interesting. Control shows me multi-word. Component name VM shows me multi-word. Offset. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Define expose is forbidden after an await expression. That is actually interesting. After an await expression. VM.view. Do I have to put it first? Okay, so it's just complaining about names of things, which I don't care. JavaScript wants to fight me over names. It is more than welcome to. I don't know. I'm lost. What's it saying? Maybe opts await, blah, 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 blah. So it wants export default to be a function. That's actually what it's saying. Because, oh my gosh, it's because I didn't wrap that up in a thing. Oh, guys, doesn't for next make VM. There we go. It's because I was telling it to get the default export because that wasn't wrapped up in things. Doesn't provide an export for named compile ASM. What are you saying? What are you? Oh, that is actually okay. But it definitely provides an export named make VM, right? Right? Export default, right? What if but I have to say default, right? Can I just say export? Can I? Okay, hold on. Maybe we're good. Maybe default was the bad word. Maybe default was an evil word. Okay, hold on. We're doing it. Oh my gosh, this feels a bit like a weird fever dream. Compile ASM. Can we do it? Okay, that's good. Expected 3 got 4. Unknown register 0. What? I can't remember how my code works. Add MA27. Line 0, unknown register 0. That's okay, it loaded. It actually loaded. CTX tick is not a function. Okay, here we go. In vm.view, line 29, tick is not a function. View, tick. We need to make tick a function. We're going to make a function called tick. Okay, and it's going to say vm.tick, I think. It might be vm.step. vm.tick. vm.step. That's what I want. Tick uses time. Step uses is the one at a time thing. Okay, so what happens when I run this? I don't think I'm going to see anything. I don't think it works like that. Uncaught 0 instruction. That's fine. Oh yeah, I didn't actually load it anywhere, did I? Load program 2 doesn't do anything. It just prints the program out. So I need to say vm dot hold on. Well, for so let's iterate over for let I of progs over every index in the program. We're gonna get, so let's say const b, we'll get the byte at that index of the program. We'll make a target address, which is going to be I plus whatever offset we're loading into. And we'll say vm dot whatever this thing is, Wasm, write memory, address, and it's a 16-bit value. That's annoying. Oh, we have a function for write program. We just call write program. We do this in Rust. So we say vm.load program dot write program even write program prog offset self prog offset. Okay, this is already done. I already did this. Why am I making it complicated? Let's say whoa, don't know what that was. MA27. Compile it, tick it. What happens? That's okay. Okay, so it did something. It actually did something. That's good. Now, the thing I really want, okay, the thing I really want to happen, the reactivity fundamentals, right? Count plus plus. So this kind of thing. I want to bind. I want to. Yeah, get. Okay, pseudocode. Okay. Reactive. Unlike a ref, wraps the inner value. Reactive makes an object itself reactive. JavaScript properties. Vue is able to intercept the access and mutation of all properties. So this still isn't quite what I want. This is not quite what I want. It's getting closer, but it's still not quite there. I want to computed properties. It's kind of like computed properties. What I want is to bind. I guess it's the mustache template, right? But I just want to force it to reload when this happens. So can I do that? Can I do that? Can I say, let's do the stake loaded. Can I force self to re-render? Can I force the current component to re-render? This force update. Can I do this? Is this gonna do anything? Okay, that's fine. Im A27. Compile. Force update is not defined. Does this exist in Vue 3? Okay. Get current instance. Get current instance. Cool. Let's try this. Let's try this. Get current instance. And we're going to try doing this, except without the question marks. I think we should just be able to remove the question marks, TypeScriptify it. Let's see if we can. This isn't a good long-term solution, but it's something. So we compile, we tick. Instance is not defined because I didn't say get instance. I deleted too much. Okay, the boy who deleted too much. 72, compile, tick. Still not right. Instance is null. Okay, that's okay. Look, I think I might leave it there. We've made progress. Okay, we're actually loading code, and I suspect it's doing something. We're just not actually rendering the updates because I haven't quite worked that out yet. But this has been a fun blunder forward into Vue.js. I think next time I show this on stream, I want it to look a little bit nicer. I might need some more time with Vue in the oven, okay? But we've built something that's kind of reactive. You know, we can write code. It kind of propagates through a couple of components. It's probably not good style, but this was interesting. This has been a fun experiment. I might come and do this more on stream. Depends on how people find it. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Let's throw some people on in a quick little raid. We'll find someone doing something cool. And then, man, I'm going to get to bed. Oh, a bit of software and game dev in C#. 7 days to make a game for Steam. Justin 6. Vampire development. I'm a sucker for some vampire. I don't mind a vampire. We might have a look at this. Let's see what's going on. They're looking at Discord. That's a good start. Vampire. I don't know. This looks cool. This looks. Let's raid this. Let's raid this. Let's throw some viewers over this way. I don't know what it is. We're unable to raid. Okay, that's okay. That's okay. Let's see if we can raid someone else. It was a good try. Linked lists are always awesome. GG's, thanks Cricket. Thank you for showing off my wonderful quit Vim emote. I have touched base. We've got emotes in the pipe. We've got them in the pipe. My friend, I was went to see him when I was in Adelaide on the weekend. He was very unwell. Okay. And this looks like a lot of stuff going on. Early prototype work. Let's have a look at some prototyping. This person's just started. Let's see what's going on. Unable to raid. Okay, I think my Twitch is just having issues. I couldn't ban people from my chat, and I can't raid. So let's just call it there. I guess my viewers go to the grave with me. Thank you so much, everyone who is supporting. It's been great. If you're watching on YouTube, you're doing great as well. I see you people out there watching these videos. It's good. It's good. I see the viewer attention. It's a long tail, but yeah, it's a couple of people hanging on. So cheers. Thank you. I hope you'll have a good night or morning or whatever strange time zones you happen to be in. I'm Tom, and I'll catch you next time.